All right, it's 6 o'clock. Let's call our regular board meeting to order. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee March.
Here.
Trustee Hudson.
Here.
Trustee Maravka. Here. Trustee Richards.
Here.
Trustee Sandberg.
Here.
Trustee Sluse.
Here.
Trustee Sturba.
Here. All right. We have a quorum. On to public comments. All right, seeing none, on to the consent agenda. We've got the minutes from our March 10th regular village board meeting. We've got our payroll, accounts payable, the payroll for the pay period ending March 15th, 2025, at a total of $72,251.51. Accounts payable for the pay period ending March 21st, 2025, out of the general fund, $31,469.50. Out of capital improvement fund, $4,165.52. Business Development District Fund, $5,640.50, and the TIF2 Fund, $4,305.25, for a total of $45,580.77. And we also have a special event, Peatone Historical Society Old Mill Fall Fest on September 20th from 4 to 9, and September 21st from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. They're requesting a one-day liquor license and amplifier permit for September 20th, and an amp permit for September 21st, and request to waive fees for the liquor license and amp permit, and also requesting a road closure on September 21st on Corny Avenue between Conrad and Mill Streets. So the Mill Fest this year, they want to expand it, have kind of the normal Fall Fest on Sunday the 21st, and on Saturday evening they're going to have a band and a little bit of a festival there the day before. So are there any items that the trustees want to take out of the consent agenda? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion. Second.
Moved by trustee Sluse, seconded by trustee Maravka.
Trustee Hudson.
Yes.
Trustee Maravka.
Yes.
Trustee Richards.
Yes.
Trustee Sandberg.
Yes.
Trustee Sluse.
Yes.
Trustee Sturba.
Yes.
All right, staff and committee reports. Why don't we start with Troy, you got something for us?
Sure. For the streetscape, they've started some punch list work, still more to do. So I know we did a little bit last week, and I think they were here today. On 80th Avenue, they were supposed to start last week, then the snow happened, and that set them back, so I don't know when they're starting. I didn't get an update, hopefully this week, for the sidewalk and the ditch work. And Conrad, storm sewer project, Aqua's contractor's supposed to start March 31st, I believe.
That's correct.
Yeah, so there'll start to be work where they're gonna be trenching and they have to lower the water main at Conrad and North intersection, pretty much that whole intersection, and then another spot further north on Conrad for water main lowering.
Okay. No questions for Troy? Okay.
Thanks, Troy.
Right. Angie, you got anything?
Just pretty minor. We have, our main breaks are slowing up a bit. It's getting nicer now, so we're gonna start doing restorations from the winter. So if anybody has outstanding restorations, we'll be getting to them very shortly to get those fixed. But still feel free, if anybody's reaching out to you for anything, feel free to let me know and I can follow up on it.
Thank you. All right, thanks.
Yep.
Thank you. Bob?
To piggyback off what I said on Conrad, I'll be out there with Gene Wren, the company doing the relocating, just so that their project is done correctly and no issues. I won't be out there every day, but maybe once a day I'll stop out on that job. Branch pickup starts April 7th. As we all know, we put rules into place so that staff stays safe and doesn't get hurt, so those will be in effect. Staff has done street sweeping. They'll continue to do that again this week. Cold patching is a daily effort, it seems like. And we're still taking applications for Public Works Department. And that's all I have.
So do you have a pre-con meeting scheduled with IPC for Conrad? Are you holding off till like May or something?
Yeah.
or-
Yeah.
Okay,
I wanna hold off so they have all their information, you know.
yeah, okay, perfect. Chief, you got anything?
Just a few things besides my report. Did you see, since you were here maybe last time, there's a new door there that has security pads. We put a hardcore door there instead of the hollow core door that was there. Also installed the steel security door for the armory instead of the wooden door that was there. And then we put a couple of those keypad locks in different areas to help secure that. And then for the whole month of April, we have the funding from the Illinois Department of Transportation. It's gonna be distracted driving. So no cell phone usage for the whole month of April. And then they'll also be doing speeding and seatbelts as secondary enforcement with that. And then the next big one, usually it's just weekends around events. Next big one is the whole month of July is strictly for speeding. So that'll be coming up in July.
Perfect. Thank you. Administrator?
So, a lot of time's been spent, obviously, on the budget the last few months, but I've also been attending a lot of meetings related to transportation, and I've been communicating with the board on, I-57 is the focus of one of those between here and Manhattan-Monee Road. The county is also doing their long-range transportation plan, which covers everything, and then there's still work ongoing on the Peatone-Wilmington Road. So all those things are important to our community. Where they spend money is driven by those plans, so I've stayed involved and engaged in that, and the mayor did a letter highlighting some of the concerns in the Peatone area for the long-range plan, because getting those comments in drives what's included. All that kind of leads to, we have in the budget money for a comp plan. I think that's something we really need to work on, because that's a way to get all the stakeholders and the residents engaged and what they're interested in seeing in the future. I have had a number of comments or conversations with potential developments, both small things in the downtown and some larger projects that are at the early stages, but I think there's promise with just people seeing Peatone as a good place to potentially invest and do business, so hopefully that's gonna lead to something. And then the last thing I just want to point out, kind of budgetary related, is I went to the IPBC, which is our insurance consortium. They had their first ever annual meeting where they got everybody from the different communities together. And this consortium is a way to kind of pool your insurance spending and ideally save money. And an example of that is, they're still higher than we'd like, but the PPO rate increase is 5.2%, the HMO rate is 3.7%, which is actually down because it was originally projected to be like 8+, but that's versus the market rate, which is 7.3. So there's a savings by being in this consortium, and that's why we do it. Some communities choose to go alone, but they pay more, so we get a better rate, and this group is pretty good. It's a lot of small communities that are partners in that, so always looking for ways to spend our money as efficiently and effectively as possible, so I'm gonna talk about the budget a little bit, so I'll leave it with that, so.
Okay. Any questions for the administrator?
About the good work.
Okay. I think that's it for reports. On the, my comments, I don't have any, hopefully you saw my report that was distributed after the board packet. No old business, new business. Item D, public hearing on the 2026 fiscal year budget. So I need a motion to open public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
Moved by trustee Sluse, seconded by trustee Sturba.
Trustee Hudson?
Yes.
Trustee Maravka?
Yes.
Trustee Richards?
Yes.
Trustee Sandberg?
Yes.
Trustee Sluse?
Yes.
Trustee Sturba?
Yes.
And all trustees are here, and the village president is present as well. So first, we're gonna review the budget details, so I'll let you do that.
So, just for the record, I mean, we have had a long process on this. We started back in December when we began with an overview and a review of the 25 budget to actual. We talked about goals and objectives. At that meeting, we also set the 2024 property tax levy ordinance. Since that time, we've had
capital budget workshops, worksheets distributed to all the department heads, who then submitted requests. Myself and the treasurer and the mayor met with folks to review those and kind of drill down. In January, we had a draft of the capital improvement plan. And then we had a committee meeting in February, administrative oversight, and then we had a full review, our full board review last meeting. So I'm just gonna focus on a couple highlights. If there's questions, we can obviously do that, but some of the highlights from this budget, which we should all be, I think, proud of, is it maintains a fund balance of over 30%, which is our policy. We're well above that, and that's very good and healthy. This reflects an increase in overall fund balance, which is up from our last meeting. Anne Marie mentioned that, but we're at $116,797 is projected for increase in the overall fund balance. Some of the revenues projected for the travel center include the fuel, truck parking, anticipated hotel expenses at $89,084, in addition to projected incremental tax revenues from TIF 2 of approximately $182,000, and that doesn't include some of the other sales tax and things like that. So that revenue source is growing. We'd always like it to go faster, but this budget also reflects ARPA grant expenditures of approximately $848,372 on the Conrad Storm Sewer Project, $167,400 on MFT expenditures on Crawford Street paving, and we budgeted $50,000 for sidewalk improvements, to be determined exactly where those funds are expended. On the kind of our obligation side, we're reflecting a police pension contribution of $435,589, which is significant because that is contributing to our police pension projected to be funded at 52.74%, which is up from 21.6% in 2016. So sometimes people think you have to be fully funded. We don't have to be fully funded, but 52% is a very good, almost 53% is a very good number. And then the last thing, just to highlight, we're putting $50,000 total towards a facade improvement program in the downtown area to kind of be the next step of what we're doing in the downtown. There's a number of other details within this, but those are kind of some of the highlights we just wanted to put out there and show the progress that we're making. So in the packet, there is the PowerPoint for anyone watching online. They can look at the PowerPoint from previous meetings. It breaks it down in detail, and the numbers in the various funds are also all in the packet. So anybody wanting to look at those can do that. So that's it.
Okay. Any board comments, questions, discussions at all? We've kind of been looking at this for a few months, so. If not, any public comment, questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion. Second.
Moved by trustee Maravka, second by trustee Sluse.
Trustee Maravka?
Yes.
Trustee Richards?
Yes.
Trustee Sandberg?
Yes.
Trustee Sluse?
Yes.
Trustee Sturba?
Yes.
Trustee Hudson?
Yes.
So item E is the ordinance approving the fiscal year 2026 Village of Peatone budget, which runs from April 1st, 2025 through March 31st, 2026. This would be ordinance 25-04. Need a motion to approve.
Motion. Second.
Moved by trustee Hudson, seconded by trustee Sturba. Yep.
Trustee Richards?
Yes.
Trustee Sandberg?
Yes.
Trustee Sluse?
Yes.
Trustee Sturba?
Yes.
Trustee Hudson?
Yes.
Trustee Maravka?
Yes.
Item F, approve increased authorization for computer purchases from Leading IT in the amount of $1,559.52.
So our ordinance gives me as the administrator authority up to $4,999. And I brought this to you in February. And I even gave myself some cushion, as for authority up to $7,000, thinking that would be plenty, and maybe I could squeeze out another computer with that money. Unfortunately, when Leading IT, after that approval, went to purchase those computers, source them, prices were climbing, and I'm not gonna say this is the only reason, but because of the threat of tariffs And I joked with him and said, well, I want the pre-tariff computers, not the post-tariff computers. But unfortunately, that's the price. They tried to source other models and were not successful getting a comparable model. So to be fully transparent, we wanted to ask for authorization for another $1,559.52 to complete these purchases. As I stated before, these are very much needed computers, contribute to efficiency and effectiveness of our staff. And I've listed out in the memo which computers are in there, but hopefully in the future the prices will come back down or come more moderate, but it's kind of a sign of the times, so.
Okay. Need a
So
motion to
we don't
approve?
really have a choice right now.
I mean, we could not purchase all the computers,
Yeah,
but,
need 'em.
but we need them, and we have money in the new budget to buy some more because we're kind of falling a little bit behind, and I want to keep up on that so that, I mean, an example, in the boardroom computer we use to run the video, it's very, very slow because it's antiquated, which then delays staff time. The evidence computer for the police department is very old, and, you know, that's pretty critical, and some of these others too are just equally as important for public works and the front desk, so I don't wanna say we don't have a choice, but it's just stinks that we have to pay a little bit more. I was hoping to keep this lower, but, so.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Moved by trustee Hudson, seconded by trustee Sluse.
Trustee Sandberg?
Yes.
Trustee Sluse?
Yes.
Trustee Sturba?
Yes.
Trustee Hudson?
Yes.
Trustee Maravka?
Yes.
Trustee Richards?
Yes.
All right, I need a motion to go into executive session for the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, for dismissal of specific employees of the public body or legal counsel for the public body.
Motion.
Second.
Moved by trustee Maravka, second by trustee Sturba.
Trustee Sluse?
Yes.
Trustee Sturba?
Yes.
Trustee Hudson?
Yes.
Trustee Maravka? Yes. Trustee Richards?
Yes.
Trustee Sandberg?
Yes.
And there will be no action after the executive session.